I just want to reach out to you guys once more with the same old rhetoric. Yeah, we have a few days till an election in New York City, and it's important that you go out there and vote, man. New York City, please understand what's happening here. To some of you young people especially, this is not what you think it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. This guy that's coming in, this young radical, will shape your lives in a very terrible way for the next 4 years, possibly 8 years. It's important you understand because experience is the best teacher. I'm 60 years old. I've been living in this city my entire life, and I've seen it come and I've seen them go, and this is going to be one of the worst. And to some of you people, especially you young liberals, idealistically speaking, thinking about, changing the world, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to suffer more than you are already. His proposals are weak. He cannot support them, not to mention he's going to contribute to crime. Another thing is for the folks out there that sit on their asses all day on social service programs, welfare, Section 8, and everything else, you can't hide. This is going to impact you even more. Why? Because they are going to blame the Trump administration while not giving you the resources that they're supposed to give you once these resources are removed. They're just going to blame up, and it's going to get worse and worse for you. Why? Because they don't care about you. They need someone in 2028 to politicize, and that's going to be you. Section 8 is never going to be awarded to the people that it used to be awarded to. It's going to be awarded to foreigners that are coming in. As you can see, public housing, subsidized housing, right? And you have rent control, and all these initiatives are not for you or for me. They're for these people that are slowly creeping into the city of New York. Wake up, put down the drugs, take off bonnets, and you men, snap out that shit you're in and contribute and get your asses out to vote. Yes, I'm being tough and I'm being hard because in the long run, when my bones are dust, you'll think to yourself, I remember that guy was mentioning that shit on some clip, and now look how we're living. I can't believe we didn't listen. So, remember, if you don't vote, you don't count.
Hey, man, praise the Lord for this brother right here. Sheesh. He said a mouthful, but he's absolutely right. You have a lot of young people, a lot of young liberals that believe that this socialism, that this communist ideology will work. It won't, and it hasn't. Nowhere. And people got to understand that this Mondani character, he's bought and paid for. He just bought and paid for by a different group of people that want to see our nation crumble. People need to understand that. Now, New York City, the election starts, the actual official election day is next week, Tuesday. But early voting has already started, and this Mondani character is up 30 points in the polls. It's crazy. I got some additional clips to share with you guys. Hey, share this video with everybody that's in New York City and around the country. People need to see this. People need to get a full understanding of what's to come. Because I keep telling you guys, man, the enemy is not coming on a boat from across the Atlantic or across the Pacific. They're not coming through our southern or northern border anymore. They are here. And we have one vying to become mayor of America's largest city, greatest city, financial hub. Folks better wake the heck up, man. Let's keep going. Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel.
Islamists will never assimilate. Look at Zoran Mamdani, who was raised by millionaire elitist parents. His father is a Columbia professor, and his mother is a successful filmmaker who gets bankrolled by Qatar. They have more money than 99% of the American population and own properties in different parts of the world. They could have chosen to assimilate and adopt Western values, but instead his father says in his book, we need to recognize the suicide bomber as a category of soldier. Suicide bombing needs to be understood as a feature of modern political violence rather than stigmatized as a mark of barbarism. And like his father, he supports jihadists and doesn't condemn globalizing the Intifada. They will say what they think everyone else wants to hear. They will lie through their duper's delight smiles. They will pretend to be victims of Islamophobia and be all about humanitarian causes only to get useful idiots on their side. Islamists are snakes. How do you think 56 countries became Muslim majority when Islam started only in one? This has been their pattern for 1400 years, except now they're using the same playbook in modern contexts to gain political power. They won't stop until the whole world bows to Islam. This is their core belief and it's never going to change. You'd think by now it would be easy for the rest of us who value freedom and life to see through their taqiyya, but most of you don't even know what that is. When I was Muslim, I was told firsthand that it's okay to lie so long as it advances Islam. That's what taqiyya means, and we're all being played.
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
Folks got to wake up, man. Seriously, pull your head up out of the sand. Talk to these young people out here, man. Share this information with them. They need to hear it. They need to see it.
Jesus is king. Jesus loves you. Now let's get right into this one. So Zohran Mamdani, the puppet out in New York, trying to become the mayor, acting wild. Now, I've been putting a lot of thought into this, you know what I'm saying? Because there's been a lot of people, especially in the Republican side, saying that Zohran Mamdani would be great for the Republican Party. What they mean by that is that his ideas that he's trying to bring to New York only sound good on paper, but in reality, it's a short road to destruction. On top of it being communist, you put Sharia law in with that and it'd be complete chaos. They'll break that city to the ground in no time. But I don't think, okay, that's the thing. Mamdani, the people that support him, Qatar, wherever they're from, they're not stupid people. They're not stupid people. And that's one thing that we got to stop thinking is that they don't know better. I'm looking at the book of Revelation and I'm looking at Mamdani. If he happens to win in New York, and it looks like he will win, I don't think it's going to be a catastrophe right away. They're too smart for that. If you ask me, what's going to happen is he's going to get into office and he's going to turn New York into something spectacular that looks great to the rest of the United States of America. Well, to those that don't know how to recognize the BS that Mamdani's trying to pull, right? To everybody else, to all the people that the pro-Palestiners and the overnight activists and all those people, I think within the next year, they're going to try to make Mamdani look like he's some kind of superhero and try to implement the laws and the strategies that he used in NYC to the rest of the U.S., which obviously will cause the destruction of the U.S., but they're just trying to get that influence, just like the girl that's running for governor in Georgia. I don't even know her name. It doesn't even matter right now. So I think that there's a game plan behind this. Now, earlier I put a video out of Zohran Mamdani taking part of a pride festival in New York. He's jumping up and down with the trans flag and all that. And I didn't get not one Muslim say anything about it because my question was to the Muslim community, do you guys accept this? Is this permitted under Sharia law? Not one of them answered. I don't know why, but I would love for y'all to drop a comment and make a discussion.
Hey, I'll say this. Could he be onto something? Absolutely. Could these people be playing the long game? Absolutely. That's what the Communist Party has been doing since they've infiltrated our nation. They've been playing the long game. Unfortunately, we got a lot of people that, hey, either too silly, too stupid to see it, or they're with it. One of the two. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this, brother?
If Mamdani becomes the next mayor of New York, this city is absolutely Just look at what happened to London after Sadiq Khan took over.
I agree. London used to be a great place, and now it's a bit of a shithole.
Exactly. So don't let that happen to your city.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. We're looking at what's going on in the UK, and we're definitely looking at London, and you're like, people are like, ooh, that could happen in New York City? Yeah, it definitely could. And in the clip that I showcased earlier, you know, where the lady said that it's okay for Muslims to lie if it helps to further Islam. And to be honest with you, it's okay for them to do a lot of things if it furthers Islam, as long as they don't do it to another Muslim. People just aren't familiar with who these people are, what they truly believe, and what they're about. Let's keep going.
New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think that the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
I think the Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela, just bad ideas. And again, this ugly streak, streak of anti-Semitism.
Who's the most popular politician on the left?
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie is Bernie is, I mean, he's not a capitalist,
No, he's not, and he's also not president.
He's not. But
never would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real. I mean, when you can really show it.
Exactly. And the thing is that we're not the ones that do the boogeyman. I mean, that is the left for sure. And this particular soy boy sitting next to Bill Maher, who will not heed the warning that Bill Maher, who would have thought that Bill Maher could see it, but we all can see it. And some of us are like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and let this happen because that will be the destruction of the Democrat Party. And others are like, man, but what about the people up there in New York City that would suffer from this individual's policies? And you know it's bad when you have Muslims in New York saying, nah, we're not with this guy. We're not with this guy.
We are Muslims against Mamdani. Ask us why.
Why are you against Mamdani?
First of all, do you know that Mamdani is supporting decriminalization of prostitution?
No, we don't want that.
No, we don't. Which is a NYC law that prostitution is not allowed.
Yeah.
And we are against it because every single religion of the world against prostitution creates morality issues. It brings a lot of disease. Do you want that?
No.
No.
That shouldn't be happening at all.
When there is prostitution, there is a human trafficking.
I had no idea.
When there's a human trafficking, there's a drug trafficking. Can you imagine what he's doing?
Honestly, I don't agree with it. What made you want to do this type of thing?
Because he's Muslim and we are Muslim and we are saying he's doing a wrong thing. It's against the law, it's against the faith. And he's defunding the police.
So that hell,
Well, you're from New York, right? Yeah. As you know how much crime is going on. Yeah. Imagine if you have less police, do you feel safe at that time?
I don't think so.
Police working very bravely, very tirelessly for our community to keep us safe. No need to give the salary to police. Why? There will be no jail. There will be no police. You just imagine.
I actually love your point because I didn't know that.
You can't give somebody like that power.
You guys are Muslims too, and you guys don't support him.
He's not Muslim, right? He's self-proclaimed Hindu. Whenever he goes to a mosque, he says, I'm a Muslim. Whenever he goes to a mandir, a Hindu mandir, he says, my mother was Hindu. He is misleading people. Just want to get the vote.
He lies about everything, basically.
Yes.
It's all that propaganda, you see what I'm saying? They want to get the people riled up. He's an American who hides behind the concept of a religion.
Correct. He's using it, everything. He is the wrong person to be a mayor of this great city.
He can say anything, but actuality will not be able to establish fair policy.
If you're against Mamdani, then who are you with?
I am voting for Cuomo. Cuomo is our right mayor.
I think we're all on the same page.
You guys being out here is really cool because I gotta learn from people that are older, people that have more wisdom. So it's like I really respect and I really honor what you're doing. So,
Nice meeting you.
Give us some odds.
The fact that you have Muslims out there saying that, hey, this dude is a charlatan, that should tell you everything you need to know. And if that doesn't, check out who this guy has been hanging with.
So Zohran took a picture with an imam. What's the big deal? Don't fall for the propaganda, NYC. Here's what the media is too scared to show you. The big deal is that Imam Siraj Wahhaj is one of the top 5 most dangerous men in America, and his link to Zohran is much more than just one photo. Wahhaj has been spewing anti-American pro-jihad rhetoric for decades.
You get mad at politics because politics can be a weapon to use to aid the cause of Islam.
3 of Wahhaj's own children were recently sentenced to life in prison for running a school shooter training camp for kids, and 9 of his grandchildren were in the camp. Wahhaj's long-standing threat to bring 10,000 trained jihadis to NYC becomes much easier to achieve under Zohran. And with control of the MANA organization, he now runs the militant arm of the Muslim Brotherhood in the U.S. One camp on law enforcement's radar is in Hancock, New York, just a few hours outside of the city, where jihadis are training now. Wahhaj's mosque is a known safe house for extremists with a history of gun trafficking and hosting terrorists. How long has Wahhaj had influence on Zohran? Well, since 2017, when Linda Sarzour began to groom him. These are the facts, and let's be real, New York. Will Mamdani stand up to Wahhaj's violent agenda, or will he bow down?
I'm a firm believer that, when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. And it's these types of pictures, it's this type of information that comes out, and some of the things that, you know, the Muslims, you know, in the previous clip that they brought out, you know, to defund the police. If there's no police, it makes it really easy for, you know, these types of attacks. You know, hey, we're pro, you know, corn and prostitution and things of that nature, which makes it easy to human traffic, easy to drug traffic, easy to, you know, harm children, harm women. People need to see this. They need to understand exactly what they're supporting.
To speak of, what would be your message to people listening to us in New York right now that might be thinking, hey, if Mamdani's going to be coming in, maybe New York's not for me?
Well, the number one thing is if Mamdani becomes the mayor and you feel you got to come to Florida, remember why you came here. Our state, we are a low-tax state. We don't have an income tax. Law and order is the baseline principle of our state, and that's not changing. And so as long as you come here understanding why you left New York and what Florida's about, then, yeah, we're all for it.
Yeah. Leave your politics where you came from. Same thing for those in New York. Same thing for those in Colorado, you know, in that Denver area. You're trying to move to a place that's, you know, safer, you know, lower taxes. Hey, leave your politics where you came from. Seriously. Don't bring that foolery to the South. Don't bring that foolery to places that are safe, that have low taxes, low crime rates, and, you know, just a better overall cost of living and way of life. Don't bring that.
New York City, for me, the great city of New York City, the financial capital of the world. If this Mamdani guy gets elected, it's going to be a very interesting place, New York City.
What happens? What happens in the state of Florida? You've obviously built an empire here. I know that you have love of New York. You have ownership in the Yankees. So you are a house divided, perhaps. But will there be a major outflow from New York of capital and resources, innovation, entrepreneurship? Will that actually happen, or are those just idle threats if they elect a communist?
Andrew Schultz said when he had Mamdani on, he says he doesn't believe anybody is leaving New York City. That's what he's saying. And he said he's okay paying that additional 2% that Mamdani wants to raise for New Yorkers as long as the people get the help from New York. I was at Watermill this summer, and when I'm talking to realtors, everybody there was talking about Mamdani, and they said, I cannot tell you how many people are already planning on selling their homes in Manhattan and are already looking at investing outside in places of Hampton and outside of New York City. Realtors in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Boynton Beach, they're waiting for Mamdani to get elected. Realtors in Nashville, Tennessee, in great areas of Brentwood, Tennessee, nice areas, Franklin, they're waiting for this thing to be taking place because people will be leaving. However, as we say this and we look at New York City, for me, I don't want to see this happen. I have a challenge long term. There's a couple things when you think about, you know, when you have kids, sometimes as a parent, you're like, yeah, go let your kids fail because that's how they learn. You're like, yeah, he needs to go through that. She needs to go through that. So as parents, we sometimes, our parents did that to us as well. There are certain things we can't allow to happen. I think having people with different religious ideologies running for office, short term won't be a problem. In 30 years, it's going to be a massive problem. Pew Research came out saying by 2070, Christians will no longer be the majority religion in America because of what's happening with them. And even though Muslims only have 4 million in America, I think that's the number that they're here. They're climbing much faster and Christians are declining. And the average age of a Christian in America, the 200 million Christians that we have in America, is roughly 54, 55 years old. The average age of Muslim is 35 years old, which means they have fresh legs, they're young, they're energetic, they're not going away, they're making more babies, they're loud, they put the fear in other people. God forbid you say something about their Prophet Muhammad versus us. We're a little bit more chill, easygoing. You're seeing Christians rise up a little bit more and be tougher, especially after what Charlie Kirk, the great Charlie Kirk, did with Turning Point USA. You're seeing the younger ones coming up, this generation Alpha that's 13 and under, that's kind of coming up, talking a little bit more confidently. But I think long term, if we kind of look aside and we don't see what's going on to Europe or what's going on to UK, and we're kind of like, yeah, it'll never happen to us. You may not be the beneficiaries of those negative policies and what happens to American politics, but your kids and grandkids will be. So as leaders, our job is to make sure we leave this country better for them than it was prior to us coming. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to do as leaders. I'm concerned New York City could be a case study for everything else. However, on the bright side of it, if Mamdani wins, if I was a betting man and I'm going to Poly Market or Kalshi And I'm betting on who becomes the governor. If Cuomo wins, I think the Democrats becomes governor of New York. But if Mamdani wins, I think Stefanik's percentage goes up 30% overnight. But the arrogance of thinking people won't leave, they have a short memory. They don't remember what happened in 2020, 2021, 2022 during COVID, which 2 states lost $1 trillion of money under management. 2 states. One of them was California. $1 trillion of wealth left California, and the other one is New York. New York lost $1 trillion of wealth in California. When Cuomo was the governor, if you remember, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, wanted to bring 25,000 jobs at an average salary of $150,000.
Yeah.
De Blasio and AOC said, hell no, don't bring it here. Cuomo's like, what are you talking about? These are good jobs. No, if they bring it here, rent's going to go up, and we don't want those jobs here. Bezos like, you don't want me? No problem. I'll take these jobs elsewhere. You're going to get that and then some with Mamdani if he becomes mayor.
Bang. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right there. And with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. You're going to see people flee. The people that can afford to flee, they're going to flee New York City if this dude wins, and it's looking like that is going to happen. I would also assume that people are going to say, hey, man, we can't do this. And yeah, maybe New York, the state itself, flips red. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. But I've talked about it on this channel. It's not just $1 trillion worth of wealth. It's also, $25 billion in tax revenue that has fled New York City over the better part of 4 or 5 years. 300 businesses gone. Jobs, hundreds of thousands of jobs gone. That's what's on the line right now with this character. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the